Something that stands out to me about Albuquerque is the erosion. And that's like just from the general layout of Albuquerque and the aesthetics of Albuquerque and then the people of Albuquerque. Maybe there is some kind of boundaries or some kind of like, defined entry point where collaborations happen, whether that's through like doing concert bills or something, or bands needing merch or whatever. Like maybe there was that path at one point, but over time it just eroded. And now people are just like collaborating wherever it makes logical sense in the moment. So I'm Malcolm King. I've been like a practicing artist for about 10 years, but I've always had, people always say that, I've always had art around me. I have a sister who's an exceptional artist. She was just always drawing, making stuff, sewing stuff. So these last 10 years, I've really been getting into sewing, illustration, printmaking, all the creative mediums that like have just been brewing as I was growing up, just kind of living in my siblings' wake. I do come from a self-taught background in like branding and like graphic design. That's kind of how I got off my mom's couch, was just like doing commissions for people, learning Illustrator, Photoshop. I don't know where the ants like came from, but I know where they started to really just overwhelm my psyche was around like the BLM marches and people constantly asking me what they could do, and suddenly having this like almost virtue signaling kind of support of my ambitions. And I was just like, I don't know, like I feel like you guys are already doing what you need to do for yourself. Don't like let me get in the way of that. And ants are just like a perfect example of like just emergent behavior at work, of just like individuals doing what is needed to get done, not because there's a hierarchy in play of like, this is what you need to do and this is when you do it. It's just emergent behavior of individual participants. I've just been using all those different mediums of like illustration, graphic design, branding, printmaking, sewing, everything that I've kind of just like developed a relationship with is now collaging together. Yaudi is like a third attempt at creating some kind of identity and not be limited. I don't know, you just get so many different identities thrown into one garment. It's just so dense. It's like you have these clear definitions almost framing the transitions. And then a lot of these are like graphic tees originally too. So yeah, they all take on a whole new life when they're introduced to new pieces that maybe don't have graphics.
We do work a lot in t-shirts because it's such an accessible material. People give us t-shirts, and even if a t-shirt is in bad shape, you can still cut it up and use it, to make some kinds of patches or print on it and use it as a canvas and a starting off point.
That's kind of what's brought together the whole garment restoration project, is just like, how can you find ways to use as many different mediums as possible in order to create something that's like very cohesive and doesn't have a trail. Like I love when like you come across something and you can't even see the footprints that led up to that item being made. And that's what I've been trying to like do with this project, is like, how can we shake them a little bit further? Like, okay, we're gonna do a little bit of sewing. All right, now we're gonna introduce some printmaking. All right, like, what if we layer this on top with like some embroidery or something? And then like, how do we just like create so many layers to this collage to where it just completely detaches itself from any given process? It seems very contrived for me to be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna get my Albuquerque bag and then I'm gonna take it over to the next biggest spot. And then I'm gonna like just keep moving up the chain until, I'm trying to like have a boutique in Paris. Like that's a cool trajectory, but like, I'm not trying to get burnt out on that. It just seems like a little more nuanced to work with the people that believe in me the most instead of investing my energy in this hypothetical crowd that may or may not exist. Albuquerque's shown me a lot of love and given me a lot of space to grow.